And a good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, coast to coast and around the world. From Jacksonville to Janesville and all points in between, Iowa softball is on the air on the Hawkeye Radio Network. The Hawkeyes look to recover from their toughest loss of the season and will take on the host North Florida Ospreys to wrap up their trip to the Sunshine State in the final game of the UNF-JU Classic. Victor Anderson back here with you from the UNF softball complex. The morning started off promising for the black and gold contingent. He got a 2-0 lead in the top of the third inning. They had the bases loaded with 2 out. Anna Streff came in to pinch hit for Skyland Pogue, but then a diving catch by Lauren Babowski to end the inning stopped the Hawkeyes' momentum and turned things in favor of the Harvard Crimson. The Crimson then got 4 runs in the bottom of the inning, punctuated by the first career hit and home run from shortstop Sophie Sun. Took the lead 4-2, knocked off Jaylee Ojo, who got the start today. Actually pitched well in the first 2 innings, struck out 3 of the first 6 batters she faced. Then she got knocked out. Andrea Jaskowiak came in. She got knocked around for a couple of runs. Haley Down came in, and Harvard rubbed through her for a pair of runs in the 7th inning. And the Hawkeyes could not seem to get any sort of momentum as they fell to the Crimson 8-2. Now for the Hawkeyes, have to have that goldfish mentality and look to take on the North Florida Ospreys to split their games here at UNF after sweeping Jacksonville yesterday in 2 thrilling contests won by 2 runs each. North Florida comes into this contest with an 8-5 record on the season. The Ospreys, led by head coach Jeff Conrad in his 2nd season at the helm, they are starting to assert themselves as a potential dark horse contender in the ASUN Conference. UNF this weekend has been strong in terms of their prowess. They have won their 2 games by a combined score of 18-1. They ruled Manhattan yesterday 15-0. 10 of those runs came in the first inning, and won a hard-fought pitcher's duel 3-1 versus Harvard. Allison Benning picked up the win, picked up 11 strikeouts. The former top 100 recruit and transfer from Oregon got the victory for the Ospreys in that game yesterday. It'll be Haley Ahrens coming in to get the start for the Ospreys to wrap up their UNF-JU Classic here from Jacksonville, Florida. Hawkeyes now 6-4 in the season, saw that 3-game winning streak snapped with that loss to Harvard. North Florida 8-5 on the campaign. And this is a reunion for Coach Renee Gillespie and UNF head coach Jeff Conrad. Conrad in 2015 served as a volunteer assistant under Coach Gillespie's staff at UCF. The Knights were on the borderline of being a host in the NCAA tournament. That honor went to Notre Dame, and UCF had to travel to Tallahassee during that regional. And Coach Conrad was able to turn that around, turn to an opportunity to serve under then head coach Marcy Higgs to be on her staff here at UNF before taking over the program in 2023. First pitch is set to start at 12:45 for what we've been told from the UNF operations staff. If you see any flying baseballs around, that's because North Florida baseball will be playing literally 5 feet away from us at Harmon Stadium at Dusty Rhodes Field. No, not that Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. We're talking about Dusty Rhodes, the former New York Giant of the same name. They'll be playing versus Yale. So don't be surprised we have a couple more delays than usual because of fly balls flying from Harmon Stadium here to the UNF softball complex. Your pitching matchup this afternoon, Jalen Adams will get the ball for the Hawkeyes, and she'll take on Haley Ahrens from North Florida. But don't be surprised, Coach Conrad likes to do this from time to time. He will flip Ahrens and Benning. Benning is in the lineup. She's the DP. She will hit cleanup for UNF in this final game of the UNF-JU Classic. Hawkeyes trying to go to 7-4 in the season. They'll head back to Iowa City later on tonight. And we'll have not much time to turn around and recover, as they'll have a critical midweek showdown versus Wichita State on Wednesday in Kansas. That'll be a single game, and before they head back to Iowa City, they'll have a time off before they head over to the Golden State of California, where they'll have 8 days of games starting in the second week of March. You're dealing with two teams with Florida and UNF who have been consistent with their lineups all season long. For Iowa, they've started seven of the 9 players that started every single game in 2024. The outfield and the infield have been relatively the same. The only differences have been who's been in the circle, who's been catching, and who's been in the designated player spot. Although the last 8 games, that has been the freshman Devin Bowman. For North Florida, they have had 8 different players start all of their games this season. And we'll be seeing them in the starting lineup today for North Florida and Iowa. Coach Conrad and Renee Gillespie will have the umpires meeting. Dwayne Henry will be behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Ashby Ronaldo Moore will be behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Dwayne Henry will be at first base, and Ron Graham will be at third. Give you the starting lineups for both teams. First with the visiting Hawkeyes, they're going to go with the same lineup that we've seen in terms of the top 7. Jenna Young will lead things off. Sujin Berry in the 2 spot. Devin Bowman will hit 3rd. Bradley Klosterman will hit cleanup. Grace Baines will hit 5th. Sammy Diaz will hit 6th. Riley Moss will drop down to hit 7th. Anna Streff will get her first start this season. She'll be at 2nd, hitting 8th, giving Tori Bennett a day off. Skyland Pogue will be behind the plate, catching and hitting 9th, with Jalen Adams in the flex position. For the Ospreys of North Florida with the 8-5 record on the season, Madison Federico will lead things off. She'll be at center field. Haley Riker will be at second base. She'll hit in the 2 spot. Shannon Glover will be in left field. She'll hit 3rd. Allison Benning will be the DP. She'll hit cleanup. Logan Culp will hit 5th. She'll play first base. Logan Jackson will hit 5th and play first base. Chloe Culp will be in right field in the 6th spot. Savannah Chanel will hit 7th. Abby Annett will be at 3rd base, will hit 8th. And Kirsten Karawaka will be behind the plate catching for Haley Aarons. Karawaka will be hitting in the number 9 spot for UNF. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. We'll have first pitch set to go here for North Florida. You're listening to Iowa Softball, coast to coast and around the world, here on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
Good afternoon, softball fans. We are getting ready for the game between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the home team, University of North Florida Ospreys. Here's a starting lineup. First, for the visitors from Iowa. Leading off, playing shortstop, number 24, Jenna Young. Batting second at 3rd base, number 11, Sujin Berry. Batting 3rd, the designated player, number 95, Devin Bowman. Batting cleanup in left field, number 22, Briley Klosterman. Batting 5th in center field, number 23, Grace Baines. Batting 6th at first base, number 7, Sammy Diaz. Batting 7th, playing right field, number 6, Riley Moss. Batting 8th at second base, number 17, Anna Streff. And batting 9th, doing the catching, number 13, Skyland Pogue. Pitching for the Hawkeyes, number 12, Jalen Adams. The head coach of the Hawkeyes is Renee Gillespie. She's assisted by Brian Levin, Mandy Gardner-Colgate, and Aaron Dowd Johnson.
Yo, we coming. Yeah. Treat me like I'm the one in the sun. Yeah. I know how to win, cause I've been the one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the one, yeah, I'm the one. Yeah. I've been the one, yeah, I've been the one. Cause I've been the one, yeah, I've been the one. See in my eyes, I've been the one. How can I guys, I've been the one.
For the Ospreys, leading off in center field, number 12, Madison Federico. Batting second, playing second base, number 33, Hadley Reichert. Batting third in left field, number 5, Shannon Glover. Batting fourth, the designated player, number 8, Allison Benning. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 38, Logan Jackson. Batting sixth in right field, number 3, Chloe Colt. Batting seventh at shortstop, number 24, Savannah Chanel. Batting eighth, playing third base, number 10, Abby Annette. Batting ninth at the catcher, number 0, Kirsten Caravaca.
Back here in Jacksonville, Florida, and as we anticipated, Coach Jeff Conrad is making a switch, so Allison Benning will be in the circle doing the pitching, and Haley Aarons will be the flex position as the designated player. Benning, we referenced her start yesterday versus Harvard, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, walked 4, struck out 11. Benning on the season, 5-2, 1.74 ERA. 49 strikeouts, 14 walks, and 40 in the third innings pitch. Opponents are batting .208 against her. The one-time former Oregon Duck and top 100 national recruit according to Extra Innings Softball. She was one of those recruits that when you found out that she was coming to North Florida and you pair her with the work of Amber Pfizer, former Golden Gopher.
Number 8, Allison Benning.
Amber Pfizer, you knew there was going to be something that opponents and especially teams of the A-Sun are going to have to deal with. And so far, she has more than lived up to the billing. So the lineup for the Hawkeyes, for those of you just joining us, it will be Jenna Young, Sujin Berry, Devin Bowman, top third of the order. Riley Klosterman, Grace Bain, Sammy Diaz, 4, 5, 6. Riley Moss, Anna Streff, and Skylar Pogue, 7, 8, 9.
Young.
So Jenna Young will lead things off. Young went 1 for 3, had an infield single versus Harvard earlier this morning. First pitch at 12:49 Eastern is rung up for a strike. Ronaldo Moore behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Ron Graham is at first. Dwayne Henry, who was our umpire versus Harvard, is at third. Young hits that to left, and right there is Glover to make the catch, 1 down. Defensively for North Florida, Shannon Glover in left, Madison Federico in center, Chloe Culp in right, around the infield at third, Abby Annett. At shortstop, Savannah Chanel, Hadley Reichert at second base, and first base, Logan Jackson. Kirsten Caravaca behind the plate doing the catching. Sujin reached base her last 3 plate appearances. She went 1 for 3 versus Harvard with the run scored. Hard shot bounces off the dugout entrance for North Florida, back into the field of play, 1-1. Benning has been electric so far this season. She has 49 of the 83 total outright strikeouts. It is hard, it is great movement. It's something that these Hawkeye hitters are gonna have to deal with. Intrigued how they adjust against the one-time Oregon Duck. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sujin Berry. Top of the first, just on the way here in Jacksonville. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hawkeyes trying to salvage a split on this Sunday here at UNF. Lost to Harvard earlier this afternoon, 8-2. And down goes Berry, swinging, 2 down.
out. Base is empty for the designated player, Devin Bowman.
So 2 down, it brings up Devin Bowman. Bowman had an RBI single in the 3rd inning for the 2nd straight game. Falls behind 0-1. Two quick outs for Allison Benning for UNF, the 6'1" right-hander. This is inside, ball 1. Hawkeyes in the gray uniforms, Iowa with gold and the white trim. UNF in there was more of a charcoal, more of like a charcoal gray for Iowa. Ospreys with the light gray uniforms, Ospreys with the white cursive and the dark blue trim. 2 balls and a strike to Devin. Bowman's ahead 3-1. Just misses on the outside, ball 4. Benning thought she may have kissed the corner, but the umpire says she did not.
Riley Klosterman.
2 down for Bradley Klosterman. BKO for 2. That have an RBI and a pair of walks. First pitch takes for strike 1. Benning is a program-changing player, and for Coach Jeff Conrad to bring her down to Jacksonville to add with an already talented roster for UNF, she could be that difference maker to put them over the top in the 8th Sun. Quickly ahead of BKO in 2 down top of the 1st. Just getting started here in Jacksonville. Klosterman fouls someone over on the netting to our left. Ospreys had a tough start to the week, getting run ruled twice by Florida, trying to end the week with a 3-game winning streak. This is down and outside, makes it 1-2. Benning 1-2, on and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he doesn't waste much time once she gets that signal for Coach Amber Pfizer. Breaking ball, hit it to shallow left center field. Running under it is Federico. She makes the catch.
1 walk and 1 left.
And that will end the inning for the Hawkeyes. Can't take advantage of Bowman reaching on the 2-out walk. Jalen Adams will go to work in the circle in the bottom of the 1st. No score here in Jacksonville. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
If you're looking to purchase, refinance, or buy an investment property, visit our website at boejacks.com. At Bank of England Mortgage, we believe it's more than loans, it's people.
Bottom of the first in Jacksonville. Victor Anderson back with you here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. North Florida able to retire the Hawkeyes with relative ease in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. Madison Federico, Hadley Reichert, and Shannon Glover, the top third of the order, pinned out for head coach Jeff Conrad this afternoon. He'll take on Jalen Adams. As if Jalen paces in for a strike. Jalen this season comes in with a 3-1 record with a 2.23 ERA. Jalen was credited with the win last night in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Jalen actually picked up the win in Game 1 of the doubleheader versus Jacksonville. Ten strikeouts for Adams, 9 walks, and 30 innings of work. Opponents batting .288 against her. Important if you're Adams, you want to get a couple early zeros on the board. The way Benning was pitching in the first inning. That one will slice to right. That will bounce inside the right field line. It's a fair ball, and Federico will have a leadoff single. Federico will pick up her .310 average. Reichert to the plate, hitting .323 this season, 3 RBIs on the year. Federico, 8 threat to run, perfect in 9 stolen base attempts this year. The 0-1 from Adams. Runner goes, throw to second. Just sleeps the left hand underneath the tag of Jalen Adams. And Federico a perfect 10 for 10 on the base paths and steals. Kayla McGorry over at third. And of course, head coach Jeff Conrad at first. Swing and a miss. And Adams picks up the strikeout. 1 down. Brings up Shannon Glover. Hawkeye defense. 1 change in the infield. Anna Streff starting at second base for Tori Bennett. The rest of the defense remains the same with Moss, Baines, and Klosterman in the outfield. Right, center, and left. Ground ball to Jenny Young. Moves the runner over to third, so 2 down.
Now batting, the pitcher, Allison Benning.
So here comes Allison Benning. Benning throws from the right side, but bats from the left side. Benning this year, .216 with a home run, 5 driven in. Let's see her opposing number in the circle. First pitch is to Benning is in for strike 1. Mario Hernandez, the hitting coach for Jeff Conrad, has ties with the state of Florida. Spent 2020 as a volunteer assistant at JU under head coach Erica Ayers during the COVID-shortened season. Also spent time in Valparaiso, was interim head coach of Valparaiso in 2021 after being an assistant, was in Tennessee Tech in 2022. And his second year at the UNF staff. Barry thought that left leg of Federico was off the bag, but Federico said, nope, I was still there. Ball and 2 strikes to Benning, 2 down, bottom of the first. Adams twists, winds, deals. Benning in front of that will send that over the dugout. Count remains 1-2. Benning trying to help herself and put her team on the board in the home first. Now one, well, slipped early out of the hand of Jalen Adams. And will Elect not to get the Rosen bag. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Skyland Pogue behind the plate doing the catching for Jalen. 2-2 breaking ball, hit sharply back to Young. Recovers in time, gets to throw to Diaz at first. And that ends the inning for the Ospreys. Can't take advantage of the Federico leadoff single to right. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left. We'll head to the top of the second. Iowa and North Florida scoreless. You're listening to Iowa softball from Learfield.
Okay, Ospreys fans, it's time to turn your attention to the video board for some trivia. How many UNF softball players are from Tallahassee? A3, B1, C5, or D2?
We had to pause things here as the national anthem was being played at Harmon Stadium before the baseball game got going. Victor Anderson back with you here at UNF Softball Complex. Scoreless going to the top of the second. Each team got a base runner who could not put anything across. And Allison Benny will go to work, so she'll take on the 5, 6, 7 part of the Iowa lineup with Grace Bain, Salmon Diaz, and Riley Moss. Jeff Conrad in his 2nd season at the helm of UNF. Ospreys had a very successful first year under his tutelage. Actually ended up with the winning record in 2023. But lost to Jacksonville the last series of the season to miss the A-Sun tournament. Went 29-23-1 last year. 10-13-1 in the conference. Outside of Baines for ball 1. Baines, Diaz, Moss, 5, 6, 7 coming up. Coach Renee Gillespie shaking up the lineup at the bottom portion. Anna Streff getting to start at second base. Baines slow roller to second. Chanel heads to the first, one down.
Next up for the Hawkeyes, first baseman Sammy Diaz.
So 1 down for Sammy Diaz. First time that Diaz has not hit in the 7th spot in the order this season. Diaz takes ball 1. Diaz went 0 for 3 of the walk versus Harvard earlier this afternoon. That one misses upstairs. Sammy ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Hawkeyes trying to head back to Iowa City with a 7-4 mark. The 2-0. And it's inside, 3 balls, no strikes. Ospreys 8-5 on the season. That's a late strike call from Ronaldo Moore, makes it 3-1. UNF has played a very home-friendly schedule. They've only played 2 games away from Jacksonville. Lost a pair of midweeks to FAU and FIU. Now one hops over the shoelaces for ball 4. So the second walk issued by Benning.
One out, runner at first for right fielder Riley Moss.
This afternoon, I'll bring up Riley Moss. Caravaca will ask for a new softball from Mr. Ronaldo Mora. And Jeff Conroe have a little conversation with Ronaldo Mora about something. I don't know if they're going to be checking on Bennings. I know something was wrong with her right hand. Maybe a possible blister on the, possibly on the index finger of her right hand, which is her pitching hand. Trainer's taking a look at Bennings' right hand, making sure she's okay. Remember, we have Harry Aarons in the flex position. She was originally scheduled to get the start. But Coach Conrad did what we like to call it a fun switch, where he had the DP, who is actually a pitcher, come in to be the pitcher. So that way, if you need to put her out of the game in the circle, you could keep her in the lineup. So they applied some tape on the right index finger. Make sure Benning gets better grip and control. Here comes Riley Moss. Takes that one up for ball one. Riley's starting to find her groove. She's picked up hits in her last 4 games. Moss with the bunt. Chopped on front of home plate and went over the shoulder of Caravaca behind the dish. One ball, one strike, one out, one on here at the top of the second. Moss takes that one high and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. He was up to count 2-2. And Moss goes around, couldn't hold up that swing, and Moss goes down. Second strikeout for Benning. They'll bring up Anna Streff to the plate. Streff making her first start on the season. She is the first Hawkeye to make a start in the defensive alignment, not catching this year. 7 behind the starting pitcher have been the same, with Diaz, Bennett, Young, Berry in the outfield, in the infield, and Klosterman, Baines, and Moss in the outfield. Streff pinch hit, got robbed of a 2-out single in the top of the third, and that snowballed in favor of the Crimson in that 8-2 victory earlier today. It's a strike at the knees, 3-1. Scoreless top of the second. Simon Diaz on at first thanks to a Benning walk. As we'll have time. A soccer ball here came over from Hoover Stadium and almost got over the fence. I don't know if Glover tried to kick it over or threw it over, but gets it back over the second time around. I've said that we're gonna have maybe having some couple baseballs from Harmon Stadium come over here. I ain't expect the soccer ball come over from left field. I don't know if anyone had that on their bingo card on this Sunday fun day. 3-1. Right glove work over at third. They'll get the force out with Diaz at second, and that ends the inning. Good job over at the hot corner. Got a third baseman, Abby Annette, to get the force out to end the inning. So the Hawkeyes cannot capitalize on another walk issue by Aarons. We'll head to the home second, still scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
And distilled using our proprietary process, Brackish Vodka delivers a smooth, crisp taste that's perfect for sipping. Brackish is a proud partner of the Ospreys. Ospreys fans at 5-Star Pizza, the ovens stay hot until 3 a.m. and they serve the best scratch-made pizza in town. Try the 24-inch Pie-Zilla pizza and make tonight a 5-star night. 5-Star Pizza is bigger, better, and faster.
When you're short on your dough, you can't stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Bottom of the second inning.
For the Ospreys, first baseman
Logan Jackson, Chloe Cubs, Savannah Chanel. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Ospreys as they take on Jalen Adams. Jackson inning 286. Tied for the team lead with Shannon Glover with 10 runs driven in. Gets away from Skyland Pogue, ball one. Victor Anderson back with you on a warming up Sunday afternoon here at the UNF softball complex. UNF baseball doing battle versus Yale. Iowa baseball battling right now versus Wichita State in downtown Jacksonville. We'll give you an update on those festivities after this at bat. Two balls, no strikes. 3-0. Of course, Iowa women's basketball will be tipping off right now versus Illinois. Rob Brooks, Tiffany Reedy having a call for you at Carver Hawkeye Arena. John Evans giving you the pictures, descriptions, and accounts from downtown Jacksonville. Victor Anderson giving you the action here from UNF. Almost fouled off his netting right behind home plate. Full count 3-2. Trying to cap off a very successful weekend around Hawkeye Athletics. Iowa track and field with various Big Ten bests this weekend at the Big Ten Championships. And of course, women's wrestling, number 2 in the nation, sending all of their regional participants to the national tournament, winning the Region 5 title this past weekend. That's why our great SID Leanna Harasta is not with us this weekend. We wish her well. Sure she's listening to the broadcast today. 3-2 misses outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk issued by Jalen Adams.
Right fielder, Chloe Culp.
Here comes Joey Culp. Here comes Chloe Culp. Culp, the senior from the nation's from our state's capital, Tallahassee, Florida. Culp showing the swing right now and takes a strike in the inside half. Update from baseball. Hawkeyes up 4-0 over Wichita State. They're in the top of the 4th. Trying to protect their lead. Unlike last night versus Virginia. Popped up right to Diaz. That's out number 1.
Now batting for the Ospreys, shortstop Savannah Chanel.
One now for the shortstop, Savannah Chanel. Chanel hitting an even 300 in her senior season from Keystone Heights, Florida. One long ball, 4 runs driven in. Chanel takes the first pitch above the Osprey with the white, Navy blue trim, ball one. Bottom of the second, no score. Logan Jackson on with the leadoff walk. Same pitch, same result, 2 balls, no strikes. Timeout called. Chanel wanted to make sure she's on the same page with hitting coach Mario Hernandez. Situated outside of Osprey's dugout. 3 balls, no strikes. Abby on it on deck. Adams with the get me over strike, 3-1. For Adams. Same strike, got the ball a little bit lower, maxed out full count, 3-2. Payout pitch upcoming for Jalen Adams. That was fouled off. He would do it all again, 3-2. Ospreys as a team only hitting .238. But the Bats woke up versus Manhattan yesterday. Had 10 runs in that first inning. Liner right to Sujin Berry. Sujin held on to that one for dear life. And Logan Jackson had to scurry back to first.
2 outs for third baseman Abby Annette.
Annette takes ball one. Adams pitching being a lot crisper, a lot sharper here today. As the strike evens up to count. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Inning started promising with a Logan Jackson walk. She's been glued on to first ever since. Pulled the string, did Jalen, misses on top of the zone, 2-1. Swing and a miss. And we're all squared up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Deuce is wild in the second with 2 down. Adams trying to keep this game scoreless. And appears will have done so. Berry fields the ground ball to Diaz and advertises the Ospreys.
No runs, no hits, 1 left.
They get the leadoff walk from Jackson. She's stranded at first. 2 complete in Jacksonville. Final game of the Sunshine State trip for the Hawkeyes. And the Ospreys are scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Budweiser is the official beer of North Florida Athletics. Stop by the concession stand today to buy an ice cold beer. But please, drink responsibly.
Top of the third we go here in Jacksonville. Victor Anderson, glad as you're with us on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Skyland Pogue will lead things off back to the top of the order with Jenna Young and Sujin Berry.
Skyland Pogue.
Baseball up on Wichita State 4-0 in Jacksonville right now. Pogue tries to bunt her way on, tried to sneaky bunt and foul right in front of Jackson and Caravaca. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Hawkeyes. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for North Florida. Down low. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Hawkeye women's basketball leading Illinois 30-18 at the end of the first quarter from Carver Hawkeye Arena. Hits that one foul, and Ronaldo Moore right on it. That ball hit the inside of Skyland Pogue's foot and then trickled in front of home plate. Ball and 2 strikes to Skyland. 1 for 5 on the season. She went 0 for 2. And slow roller Benning gets it there to first. Nice job by Benning. Fielding her position. Got there a little bit late, but gets the out. 1-3, 1 down.
Shortstop Jenna Young.
Go back to the top of the order with Jenna Young. Caravaca will ask for a new softball from Mr. Ronaldo Moore behind the plate. Let's reset the defense for the Ospreys while we figure out which softball we're going to play with for this at bat for Jenna Young. It'll be Logan Jackson, Hadley Reichert, Savannah Chanel, and Abby Annette. The infield from first to third. Shannon Glover, Madison Federico, and Chloe Culp, your Osprey outfield from left to right. Kirsten Caravaca to do the catching, and Allison Benning doing the pitching. Looks like everybody is set to go, and here comes Jenna Young. Young flew out to left to first at bat. See what adjustments the Hawkeyes make the second time in the order against Allison Benning. I remember distinctly when I heard the news that Benning was added, had signed to transfer to UNF. Young hits that to dead center field. That one's back. I was going to at the top of the wall in dead center field. And Jenna Young is upstanding with the 2-bagger. And the Hawkeyes are in business in the third.
Second, 1 out for third baseman Sujin Berry.
First extra base hit of the season for Jenna Young. That brings up Sujin Berry. Berry struck out first time she saw Benning, to see how she handles the 6'1" righty. Takes ball 1 low and inside. Osprey infield playing back, particularly the middle of the infield. It would not surprise me here if Berry possibly tries to lay down a bunt. If she does, a little half swing, but hit her in the box and then bounce in front of her. In the field of play for a strike, 1-1. Berry, slow roller to first. That will get the job done, and you move Young over to third. Jackson with the 3 unassisted, 2 down.
Devin Bowman.
And once again, here comes Devin Bowman. Bowman has had RBIs in the third inning in 2 of the last 3 games. Nice stop by Caravaca behind the plate for ball 1. We are scoreless top of the third. Got a good pitcher's duel going between Allison Benning and Jalen Adams. Just misses on the outside corner. Bill looking pitch from our vantage point, but Mr. Moore says nope. A little bit too outside for my liking, 2-0. Middle infielder with their feet now creeping in front of the outfield grass. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Bowman trying to pick up Young at third. That one's high, 3-1. Bowman is listed on the roster as wearing number 99, now wearing her number 95. Ray Benny took a little bit off of it, makes the count 3-2. Bowman, a little flare. That will get in front of the shortstop. Chanel throw to first, and she just throws out Bowman by a step. And they leave Jenna Young stranded at third. So Bowman cannot bring in another Iowa run in the third inning for the third time this weekend. We'll head to the home third, still looking for our first run today. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
Right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies creates personalized relationships to discover career and business needs beyond the surface. By utilizing customized tools and tactics, CSI matches talent to unique assignments across the nation. With over 3 decades of experience and a large portion of employees being former Ospreys, they know how to get the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more. The UNF Athletic Department would like to thank all of our hotel partners for their support of this game and UNF Athletics. To get a full list of our hotel
Bottom of the third inning, let's give you a quick Hawkeye scoreboard look before we get things back going here in Jacksonville. Speaking of Jacksonville, that's where Iowa baseball is right now. And so far, their 4-run second inning has held up. They lead Wichita State 4-0. John Evans with the call for that one at 121 Financial Ballpark. Meanwhile, women's basketball cruising along versus Illinois, 35-22, 7:51 left to go in Carver Hawkeye. Rob Brooks and Tiffany Rady with the action from you there. Got you covered all weekend long here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. 9-1-2 up for the Ospreys. Caravaca, Federico, and Reichert. First pitch, ground ball right to Sujin Berry. She's been so strong playing that hot corner since she got inserted in the starting lineup opening day. One pitch, one down for Jalen Adams in the third. Federico, who has the lone hit for North Florida, a slicing single inside the right field line, will stroll to the plate for UNF. It's in strike one. Two of the more underrated pitchers in the nation doing battle on this Sunday afternoon here in Jacksonville. Bottom of the third, still looking for our first run. Pops it up, and it'll be Anna Streff who gets the catch. 2 down. Streff getting the start today. Getting started in this game for Tori Bennett. Hawkeye defense in the infield is Diaz, Streff, Young, and Berry, the infield first to third. Moss, Baines, Klosterman, the outfield right to left. Skyline Fogg receives the strike from Jalen Adams. Natalie Reichert at the plate. Struck out when the first time she's faced Jalen Adams. And this one will be to shallow center. Baines is there, and Jalen Adams has her first 3 up, 3 down inning. Good one going on in Jacksonville. Still looking for our first run. Scoreless at the 3. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
The Fresh Report can help. We take the stress out of mealtime by offering chef-prepared, healthy, delicious meals for everyday life. Gluten-free, vegetarian, paleo, and traditional options are available. Do you need nutrition counseling? We've got you covered. So hurry and check us out at thefreshlyforked.com or visit our store at 1237 Penn Man Road, Jacksonville Beach.
Ascension St. Vincent's is proud to be the official healthcare provider of UNF Athletics. A new orthopedic and spine care option has arrived in Jacksonville, and it's the first of its kind. North Florida's only orthopedic and spine specialty hospital is located at Ascension St. Vincent's Southside Hospital. Perform at the top of your game, whatever your game is. And fans, be sure to check out the UNF bookstore and the Student Union right across the street from the arena. Get the latest Ospreys gear, decor, and more at the UNF
Victor Anderson
bookstore.
back with you at the UNF softball complex.
Leading off, left
Bottom of the
fielder,
fourth inning.
Riley Klosterman.
Part of the Hawkeye order duo, Klosterman, Baines, and Diaz, the three seniors for Coach Renee Gillespie and her lineup on this Sunday afternoon. Klosterman takes strike one. He got three rooks at the top with Young, Berry, and Bowman. The three vets in the bottom, in the middle, with Klosterman, Baines, and Diaz. And he got Moss, Streff, and Pogue at the bottom. Bounce that over to short. Chanel right there, one out.
Center fielder, Grace Bain.
Identical lines for both programs. No runs, one hit, no errors, two left on base. Both pitchers have been using the ground ball to their advantage today. Adams with one strikeout, Benning with two. Fades ahead 1-0. The interesting thing, that bottom of the third inning for Jalen Adams was the first time either pitcher retired the opponent in order. One ball, one strike. Top bounces in front of Caravaca, makes it 2-1. UNF defensively, the outfield. Glover, Federico, and Culp, the outfield left to right. Jackson, Reichert, Chanel, and Annette, the infield first to third. Hayes with a good cut, fouls that one back, makes it 2-1. 2-2, excuse me. Two for Benning. Baines lines that to left. And that one was dropped by Glover. She had it, but she couldn't hang on to it. And Baines will scurry on over into second.
First baseman.
It's a tough
Sammy
play for
Diaz.
Glover. Ball sunk down on her in the last second. But could not hang on to it. As we await the scoring, they'll bring up Sammy Diaz. They're going to give Baines a double. Second double of the season for GB. Sammy ahead 1-0. North Florida was picked to finish 6th in the A-Sun this year behind Central Arkansas, the league champions, Florida Gulf Coast, North Florida, Austin Peay, and Kennesaw State. In terms in the response on the UNF side, Amber Pfizer just put out a post or a tweet in one word, bet, period. Tells you how confident she is in this UNF roster. Big Ten has not released any preseason rankings. Though the Hawkeyes, according to D1 softball, picked to finish 11th. Softball America has them 13th. Actually, D1 softball has them 13th. Softball America has them 11th. But the league certainly feels wide open. Diaz drops that to center field. Coach Gillespie, not about waving around Baines, but a great relay from Federico keeps GB at third. So back-to-back base hits for the Hawkeyes. Sets the stage for Riley Moss. And we'll see a pinch runner in for Diaz in the top of the 4th. And it'll be Devin Simon to pinch run for Sammy Diaz.
Pinch runner at first base for Iowa, number 20, Devin Simon.
So Simon to run for Diaz at first. An opportunity for Riley Moss. Quarter infielders pinching down for Moss. Lays down a beautiful squeeze. They were so focused on Baines trying to go from third. Jackson, Arnett, and Benning all came charging in right in front of Caravaca. And she lays down a beautiful bunt, does Moss. And the Hawkeyes again with the bases loaded. And Warren, our first visit to the circle this afternoon for Amber Pfizer. Of course, Pfizer, a familiar name to you, are your Big Ten fans, 2-time Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, and spent the summer pitching professionally with the WPF Smashes Sports Vipers under the tutelage of head coach Jerry Glasgow. Hawkeyes had the bases loaded 3 of the first 4 innings versus Harvard, failed to produce a hit in those situations. They left 11 on base in that 8-2 loss versus the Crimson earlier in the game played this morning. Here comes Anna Streff. She was at the plate in the same situation as a pinch hitter in the 3rd inning of that game. Was robbed of a base hit by Babowski, and that turned to be the momentum swing that the Crimson needed. A new opportunity for the sophomore second baseman. First pitch fouls that one back. Chef confident in terms of her approach at the plate. Still looking for her first base hit this season. And a 0 for 5 reached on the fielder's choice in the second. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Bases full of Hawkeyes. Ball gets away. Baines breaks for home. Throw to the plate. And she hits the tag there, and she's out. Coach Renee Gillespie's going to have a talk with Ronaldo Mora. That ball took a quick bounce back from behind one of the Osprey logos behind home plate to our right. Great reflexes by Caravaca. The throw was a little bit high, but hey, when you're 6'1", like Benning is, get that ball anywhere near the radius, and you could be able to make the play. So 2 outs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Streff strikes out, and that ends the inning. So in 2 pitches, the Hawkeyes cannot plate the run, and again, left hitless with the bases loaded. The Hawkeyes pick up 3 hits, but they leave 2. We'll head to the home 4 for the halfway point. Still scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
Rehabilitation is ranked #1 in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, and it is the official rehab provider for UNF Athletics. Brooks offers rehabilitation services for conditions ranging from a stroke or to a sprained ankle or concussion. Their wide range of community programs includes adaptive sports and recreation for adults and children, wellness programs, and much more. Brooks offers high-quality care from your expert clinical teams to help you go beyond your rehabilitation goals. To learn more, visit brooksrehab.org. For fast, safe,
Hawkeyes
and
again
reliable
cannot take advantage of the
restoration
bases loaded.
Pro 24/7.
Jace Baines get cut
Commercial
down on a
and residential
foul pitch
emergency.
to the plate on a close play, and then Anna Stretch strikes out. And the Ospreys with the momentum as they are scoreless going to the bottom of the fourth. Victor Anderson with you. Shannon Glover, Allison Benning, Logan Jackson up to the plate for UNF. Glover, preseason A-Sun selection. Takes ball one from Jalen Adams. Glover last year was the recipient of the Anita Ross Award. It recognizes the softball student athlete that exhibits excellence in the classroom, within the team, and in the community. Slices that to Straff, makes the catch, one down.
The pitcher, Allison Benning.
So one down for Benning, as Jalen Adams has got into that usual Jalen Adams rhythm. He's only allowed the leadoff single to Federico in the bottom of the first. Retired 10 of the last 11 Ospreys she's faced. Behind 1-0 to Benning. Adams with the pat on the chest saying, hey, that was my part of that location. Jalen with the 1-0, Benning with a good cut, foul someone off behind the netting in front of us. Makes the count of ball in the strike. One down, bottom of the fourth. Ospreys and Hawkeyes scoreless. Final game of this UNF JU Classic. 2-1. Iowa will travel to Wichita State for a midweek on Wednesday. And they'll have an extended break before they head out west to California. Benning with a loud fly ball that will slide foul, and it will be caught by Sammy Diaz. Diaz and Riley Moss were trying to track along, and but Diaz is the one who makes the catch. Benning just got underneath that one. 2 down, here comes Logan Jackson. Jackson, strike one. Jackson, the last Osprey to reach, had a leadoff walk in the second. Took a little bit more off of that one. I don't know if she lost the grip on that right hand. A ball and a strike, 2 down here in the fourth. UNF and Iowa deadlock 0-0. Drives that to right, back goes Riley Moss. Ball will die down. Whitmer caught it a little bit. Moss tracks it in, and that ends the inning.
After 4 complete, no score.
3 up, 3 down, go to the Ospreys again. Jalen Adams has retired 9 in a row. 4 innings complete. Still scoreless. You're listening to Iowa softball from Learfield.
Pitching for the UNF Ospreys, Hallie Aaron.
Top of the 5th inning. And Hallie Aarons will be in the circle for the Ospreys. She will make her 9th appearance on the season. She is 2-2 with a 2.59 ERA. She's pitched 24 in the 3rd inning, 17 strikeouts, 13 walks. Opponents are hitting .223 against her. Aarons, who was the ace on the staff, has given way for Allison Benning. And Tatiana Roman will make her 2024 debut for the Hawkeyes, pinch hitting for Skyline Pogue here in the top of the 5th. And Tati takes ball 1. Puck takes ball 1. Roman, who started all the Hawkeye games last season, had a phenomenal campaign after transferring in for Alabama A&M. As the strike count is even 1-1, so it'll be Roman, Young, and Barry, 9-1-2 coming up. I chopped that one past third, and I'll be foul, 1-2. Roman last year was top 3 in the Hawkeyes, a lot of their offensive categories. She'll lap that one foul. And you're going to say she was out of the box. So we've seen the Hawkeyes be called out for out of the box twice and have it be strikeouts in this instance. And it looks like that's going to be number 3 here. And that's what Ronaldo Moore is talking with head coach Jeff Conrad. Roman last year hit .296, so they're going to say Roman is out. Unfortunate break in Tati's first at bat on the season. So Aarons picks up the strikeout with Roman being out of the box. Back to the top of the order, and Jenna Young. Young is strike 1.
Shortstop, Jenna Young.
Benning's final line, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. The best she can get, at least for right now, is a no decision. Young cannot hold that bat around behind 0-2. Young raised authorized ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Young banged a double off the top of the North Florida Ospreys sign in center in the 3rd, but cannot come around to score. Pops that one up. Caravaca had it there. Couldn't locate it quickly enough. And Young will get a second chance. One down top of the 5th. Hawkeyes and Ospreys still deadlocked in a scoreless draw. And down, Young goes down on strikes. So Hallie Aarons has come in, picked up back-to-back Ks.
2 out for 3rd baseman, Sujin Berry.
So 2 out for Sujin Berry. Sujin struck out and grounded out back to Jackson. It's been a back-and-forth battle. Phenomenal pitching on both sides. Berry ahead 1-0. The Hawkeyes have out-hit the Ospreys 4-1, but again, have not been able to get that hit with those runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss by the freshman from California, 1-1. UNF will have 6, 7, 8 coming up in the 5th. Culp, Chanel, and Annette. Has to bend back a little bit to avoid getting hit on the top of the helmet, 2-1. Temperature has warmed up a little bit. Wind not blowing as much as it was later on this morning. Good spot from Arians, but instead it's 3-1. Devin Bowman on deck. Ball forward.
Designated player, Devin Bowman.
2 down after the Arians walk. They'll bring up Devin Bowman. Bowman walked and hit a sharp ground to the third. She does go around, says Ronaldo Moore, strike one. Bowman hold up a swing, got a piece of it, 0-2. Two outs in the fifth. Hawkeyes again with the base runner, but cannot. Still trying to get that big time base hit. Former UNLV Rebel, a graduate student, 4th year in his UNF program. She was the ace of this program for 2 to 3 years. Get a UNF staff a couple years ago, was top 15 nationally in ERA. And is now serving as kind of the 1B to Allison Benning. And Bowman goes down swinging. So Arians comes in, picks up 3 Ks. And the Hawkeyes again go down quietly. They can't capitalize on a buried 2-out walk, leave another runner stranded. We'll head to the 5th. Hawkeyes and Ospreys still scoreless. You're listening to Iowa softball from Learfield. Bottom of the 5th inning. Iowa, North Florida, and the pitcher stool scoreless here in Jacksonville. Victor Anderson back with you. Skylar Pogue re-enters the game to catch after being pitch hit for by Tatiana Roman in the top of the inning. So Culp, Chanel, and Anek coming to the plate, 6, 7, 8 for UNF.
The 5th for the Ospreys, right fielder Chloe Culp.
Culp popped up to Diaz back in the 2nd. First pitch by Jalen is away for ball 1. Adams has retired the last 9 she's faced after giving up a leadoff walk in the 2nd to Logan Jackson. That's a strike to square up the count, 1-1. Hawkeyes with 4 of the game's 5 hits today, but still are struggling to get that hit with that runner in scoring position. That's a loud scream of foul. Mario Lopez loved that swing from his senior right fielder. One and 2. Upstairs, 2 and 2. Ospreys will travel down I-95 to I-4 to take on UCF on Wednesday night for a midweek. Hope, shallow left field. Klosterman calls off Young, and the senior makes the catch, 1 down.
Shortstop, Savannah Chanel.
So 1 down for Savannah Chanel. Hawkeyes defense, Klosterman, Baines, and Moss, the outfield. Diaz, Streff, Young, and Barry, your infield first to third. Pogue doing the catching for Jalen Adams. And Chanel behind 0-1. And Torrey Bennett is on the bench, first time an Iowa Hawkeye in terms of the infield and outfield, is getting a rest this season. Hawkeyes have gone with the same 7 behind the pitcher all 10 games this year before the switch by Coach Renee Gillespie. One ball and 2 strikes, and gone with a sophomore and a Streff, her classmate, to get the start at second base. Oh, 0-2 to Chanel. Tails outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Avionette on deck, getting some last second words of instruction from assistant coach and hitting coach Mario Hernandez. Times a breaking ball, over drop in front of Grace Baines for the base hit. Nice job waiting on it in the last minute by Chanel, and drops in a single. That's the second Osprey hit of the afternoon. Arnett now to the plate. Arnett rolled one over to Barry at third to end the second for UNF. 1-0. The right ball sinking down. That will fall in front of Riley Moss. Can't hold on to it. And it'll be first and second for the Ospreys. Ball got hung up.
1 out for Houston, Caravaca.
Moss thought she had a chance to come under with it, but couldn't. Dove at the last second, couldn't get the glove, couldn't get the ball in the glove. So the Ospreys with their best chance since the first inning, where they had Federico at third. And Caravaca to the plate. Strike 1 from Jalen Adams. Jalen, you'll love to get a ground ball to the left side and get the force out at third. Gets jammed and fouls it off, 0-2. Madison Federico on deck. That was outside for ball 1. Ball and 2 strikes to the sophomore backstop, Kirsten Caravaca. 2 on, 1 out here in his 5th. Scoreless game here in Jacksonville. Hops that one up, and that one will end on the sidewalk in between the softball complex and Harmon Stadium. We give you a Hawkeye scoreboard update after this at-bat with Caravaca. Chanel at second, Annette at first. Ground ball to Young, gets it over to Struff for 1, over to first. They can't get the double play. You see how Sammy quickly looked over to home and see if Chanel was going to try and break for home plate.
Center fielder, Madison Federico.
So they get the fielder's choice 4-6. Can't turn 2, so the inning will continue for Madison Federico. Federico single, stole second, and got all the way over to third in the first. Popped out to Streff in the third. Strike one. We'll see if they put Caravaca in motion here to take out that force at second. Maybe put a little pressure on Skyland Pogue behind the plate. It's slow, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hawkeyes have been very cognizant of that particular situation. They've seen that a few times during this trip to Florida. The 1-1 runner does not go, 2 balls and a strike. Got Hadley Reichert on deck for the Ospreys. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 out. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the 5th. Jalen Adams trying to keep it that way and send us to the 6th. Slices that to right. I will be caught by Riley Moss running to her left down the line. And Riley Adams saves the day and saves the game for now for Iowa. So the Ospreys pick up their first 2 hits off of Jalen Adams since the first and leave 2 runners stranded. 5 complete in Jacksonville, still scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
Money Pages magazine today, or download the Money Pages app to save big on dining, entertainment, home improvement, and more. Money Pages, helping communities save and businesses grow.
Top of the 6th inning, Coach Renee Gillespie giving some last-second instruction and maybe a quick joke to Bradley Klosterman. It'll be her 3 seniors due up in this inning, Klosterman, Baines, and Sammy Diaz. Before we do that, let's give you a look around the Hawkeye scoreboard. Women's basketball taking care of business versus Illinois, 52-41. 7:50 left to go from Carver Hawkeye Arena. Rob Brooks, Tip Freedy with the call for you there on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Meanwhile, in Jacksonville, Iowa baseball trying to salvage a game in the Jacksonville Collegiate Baseball Classic. They're shutting out Wichita State 5-0 in the top of the 6th. John Evans with the call from downtown Jacksonville. Victor Anderson with the call for you here in the beautiful campus of the University of North Florida. So Hawkeye finished their trip to the Sunshine State. Hawkeyes under Coach Gillespie when they travel to Florida are 44-25, including today's result versus Harvard. Iowa went 11-4 last year in their time in the Sunshine State. Postman now goes inside, 2-1. Hallie Aarons came in for Allison Benning, picked up 3 strikeouts, her first inning of relief in the 5th. Down to Klosterman, 2-1. And behind 3-1. Three and 1 to BK. Flew out to center and grounded out. And takes a strike, 3-2. Olserman is about to toss the bat, and a little whimsical look towards Coach Gillespie at third. She thought that was ball 4. 3 balls and 2 strikes to BK. That one is ball 4.
Center fielder, Grace Baines.
That's the first time the Hawkeyes have gotten the leadoff batter on in 6 innings. And here comes Grace Baines. Baines got a double in the 4th. Got cut down on a wild pitch that got away from Allison Benning. A nice relay from Caravaca. And the Benning tag kept the game scoreless. One ball, one strike. Seven of the 8 Hawkeye runs they've scored this weekend have come in the 6th inning or later. Baines showed bunt for a second, pulled back. That's 2-1. Nice looking pitch from the graduate student, Hallie Aarons. Instead, it's 2-1. Baines swinging for that gap in right center, just missed it. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. Payout pitch. Baines bounces down one. That's going to get past third base, and it'll be no play. Baines hit that one deep enough where Chanel was the only one that could make a play. Got over to Riker, and unfortunately, Riker was there to keep close to him in at second. So 2 on and no out. And I'll bring up Sammy Diaz to the plate. And now the wheels are turning for Iowa head coach Renee Gillespie. Looks like we will see a pinch runner. Will be pinch runner for Klosterman at second. It's going to be Echo Mattiello to run for BK at second.
Pinch runner at first base, Echo Mattiello.
So Mattiello running at second, which represents the go-ahead run for the Hawkeyes. Two on, no out for Sammy Diaz. Diaz shows bunt, gets strike one. Osprey's being very aggressive. Jackson and Annette charging in, anticipating the Diaz bunt. Reichert and Chanel wheeling around to the respective bases. Diaz again shows bunt. That one sails a little bit above the barrel of the bat, 1-1. Top of the 6th. No score. Hawkeyes once again threatening first and second. Nobody out. Diaz takes ball 2. Riley Moss waits on deck. Diaz has reached base twice today. This time lays down a lovely bunt. Diaz does the job. Moves Mattiello to third and Baines to second. So nice job by Sammy D with the sacrifice bunt. Second and third, 1 out. 3-4 for those of you scoring at home, and we know those of you who are. And here comes Riley Moss. And now I think what Jeff Conrad might be doing is he debating maybe re-entering Benning here to face Moss. Because Aarons is already in the lineup as a DP. Remember, the original lineup had Aarons as the starting pitcher, Benning as the DP. During the home plate meeting, they made the flip, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. So Aarons will come out. Benning will re-enter the game. Aaron's pitches a inning and a third. Gives up a hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So now for Allison Benning, she'll deal with Riley Moss. And for right now, Anna Streff. And if you're projecting based on how Moss handles it, how this at bat goes for Moss, you still have Hannah Lindsay available as a pinch hitter. You also have Avery Jackson as a potential option as well. And don't forget, you still have Tori Bennett. But your main option in terms of bats left on the bench is Hannah Lindsay. Second and third for the Hawkeyes. Echo Mattiello, the go-ahead run at third. She's pinch running for Bradley Klosterman. Grace Baines at second. 1 down, top of the 6th, still scoreless in Jacksonville. Moss first pitch chopper. Play to the plate. She slides in safe. Mattiello somehow slid underneath the tag of Kawavaka, and the Hawkeyes jump on the board 1-0.
Second baseman, Anna Strapp.
So Riley Moss continues her hot hitting here in the Sunshine State. Strapp with the squeeze, and it bunts foul. Baines was on the move on that pitch. So it'll go down as a fielder's choice. And Mattiello just snuck underneath the tag. From our vantage point, it was very, very close. Swing and a miss. Downs will take the steal. Makes the count 0-2. This is low, nice stop by Kawavaka behind the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. Skyline Pogue waits on deck. Streff slow roll over to third. They'll get to throw to first, and importantly, keep Baines at third. So 2 down. It'll be up to Skyline Pogue. Skyline bounced out back to Benning in the third. Was pinch hit for by Tatiana Roman in the 5th. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Tries a little bit of a bunt and goes after it, 0-2. Two outs, 2 on, 0-2 to count. This is away, 1-2. The 1-2 for Benning. Ho with a little check swing and gets enough of it to send it out of play. Hawkeyes on the board on the fielder's choice for Riley Moss to bring home the pinch runner Echo Mattiello. Ooh, 2-2. 2-2 to Skyland Pogue. Love to see if you can poke one in the outfield. Instead, she strikes out.
1 run, 1 hit, 2 left.
Benning picks up her third
To the bottom of the
strikeout.
6th, Iowa leads 1-0.
But the Hawkeyes get on the board. Hawkeyes pick up a run on 1 hit. No errors, they leave 2 left. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Ospreys down 1-0. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Bottom of the 6th inning. Hawkeyes take a 1-0 lead. The Ospreys will have the meat part of their order coming up. Riker, Glover, and Benning due up against Jalen Adams. Close to in re-enters the game in left field after being pinch run for by Meko Adiello. Anderson here with you. Hawkeyes trying to put a nice exclamation point on their trip to the Sunshine State. Outside, ball 1 to Hadley Reichert. She's 0 for 2, struck out in the first, flew out to center to end the third. Adams has allowed only 3 hits, 2 of them back in the 5th. Up and inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Pass is stretching Glover, Jenna Younger, Riker with the leadoff single in the 6th. Ospreys are starting to figure some things out off of Jalen Adams. Here comes Shannon Glover. Ball 1. Adams clinging to a slim 1-run lead in the late stretches here in Jacksonville. 2 balls, no strikes. Three-0. Adams in danger of walking only her 2nd batter today, and to bring up Allison Benning. Got the green lighting. Clanks that one off the pole to our left near the Ospreys dugout, 3-1. Got the green light 3-0 from Coach Jeff Conrad. The 3-1 from Jalen Adams. Outside, ball 4. So here comes Allison Benning. And we will, looks like we will see our first visit in the circle this afternoon from Hawkeye coach Mandy Gardner-Colgate versus Jalen Adams after being held to 1 hit through the first 4 innings of play. Hawkeyes lead 1-0. Bottom of the sixth, but the Ospreys with their best threat so far today. First and second, nobody out. Sid.
Loaded, nobody out for Logan Jackson.
Jackson with a walk and a fly out to right. Jackson, ball one. Jalen trying to get that backdoor curve on the outside half of the plate. It's all about executing each pitch for Jalen Adams. That changeup gets over 1-2. One ball and two strikes. Jalen Adams. No good turn on Culp, but fouls that one back towards the batting cages. One, two. Culp shoots that to the left side. Our lead side of the game for UNF. Culp brings him the game tying run as Riker scores. And Ospreys tied up at 1 apiece.
Now batting for the Ospreys. Shortstop, Savannah Chanel.
Savannah Chanel will come to the plate. Chanel single with 1 out in the 5th. Chanel takes the first pitch strike. Oh, that one catches. The hitter on the helmet. So now we'll bring home the go-ahead run, and it's 2-1. So Adams picks an unfortunate time to hit the batter, hit Culp on top of the batting helmet. And the Ospreys have to lead 2-1. And the Hawkeye infield will come in to have a conference right now and try and do anything to slow down this momentum. Ospreys with the lead 2-1. A single from Chloe Culp tied things up. And Savannah Chanel got hit by a pitch on the top of the batting helmet to bring home Shannon Glover to give the Ospreys the lead. Adams trying to get herself that second out. Little check swing, foul off the end of the bat, off the knob of the bat. A pinch hitter on deck for UNF. It will be Marley Nagy on deck for Kawabaka in a nice spot. Another check swing at the knob of the bat 0-2. Actually, correction, that's going to be Taylor Shepard who will pinch hit in the 9th spot for Kawabaka if we get to that part of the order. The 0-2 misses high, ball gets away, but Benning elected to have discretion be the better part of valor. One and two. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Adams in desperate need of a second out. And that one almost went out, turned on it foul. Moore, I thought he wanted to give a new softball to Jalen Allen. Says, no, I'm good with the one I got in my right hand. Popped up. Pokes there and makes the catch and quickly turns back to home plate. So 2 down. And we will see the aforementioned pinch hitter in the form of Taylor Shepard. Shepard making her 3rd appearance this year. She is 0 for 2.
Pinch hitting for the Ospreys, Taylor Shepard.
Shepard, a sophomore from Lakewood Ranch, Florida. One of the top high school programs in the nation. Shepard ahead 1-0. Benning at 3rd, Culp at 2nd, Chanel at 1st. 2 outs in the 6th. Ospreys with the advantage, 2-1. One and one, snap to 3rd, and almost got Benning on a snap throw by Skyland Pogue. Lines that one back up the middle, and the Ospreys will get some more insurance. Benning comes on home. Another run scores. Shepard goes to 2nd. Ball gets away, and a 3rd run will score. And the Ospreys break it open. It is 5-1. Shepard brings him 2, and an errant throw brings home the 3rd Osprey. And once again, the late innings starting to haunt the Hawkeyes. Caravaca will enter the game. Ospreys with a 5 spot in the 5th. And back to the top of the order with Addison Federico as the Ospreys bat around in the home 6. One ball, no strikes. Good contact, but foul. Benning, by the way, becomes the pitcher of record with the 5-run 6 for North Florida. Inside, 2-1. Hawkeyes will have the top of the order in the 7th coming up. Young, Berry, and Bowman. Shot goes through the legs of Jenna Young, and it'll be a 6-1 lead for North Florida. The ball just shot through the wickets of Jenna Young. And everything is falling apart for the for the Hawkeyes right now. Skyland Pogue would have a conversation with Jalen Adams just by herself because he already had the infield conference in this inning and a meeting with pitching coach Mandy Gardner. So the woman who started the inning with the single, Hadley Riker, will be up to the plate for the 2nd time in this inning. Now it's just all about stopping the bleeding as best as you can. Ospreys with the 6-pack in the 6. With a former head coach looking on. Those gonna go sail way high to center field. One and oh, Mandy Gardner Colgate asking for clarification on if that pitch was a ball or a strike. Two and oh. Ten Ospreys have come to the plate in the 6, and 6 of them have scored. Strike 2 and 1. That one misses up high. Take a little off-speed pitch. 3 and 1. Shannon Glover waits on deck. Ball 4. Shannon Glover. Back up, she walked earlier in this inning. Glover takes strike 1. Ospreys up 6-1, still in the bottom of the 6th, still 2 out. The ball's in 2 strikes. Adams delivers. Goes outside. Ball 1. Can Adams finally end this nightmare inning? And she does. But the damage done for North Florida. The Ospreys send 11. They plate 6. 6 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left. Hawkeyes went from being up 1-0, being down 6-1 after 6 here in Jacksonville. You're listening to Iowa softball from Learfield. Top of the 7th inning, top of the order coming up for the Hawkeyes. Young, Berry, and Bowman due up, and the Hawkeyes have a lot of work ahead of them and only 3 outs to get the work done. Hawkeyes down 6-1. Victor Anderson with you here from the UNF softball complex. Allison Benning deals some heat, but it's a ball on the outside. Hawkeyes scored in the top of the 6th, left a couple of runners stranded. North Florida exploded for a 6-pack of runs in a home 6. They lead 6-1. Young gets jammed, and that one will be right behind first, and Reichert's there, makes the play out number 1. So 1 away brings up Sujin Berry. Sujin reached on a walk back in the 5th. Also struck out and grounded out to first. This is now low for ball 1. That's for a strike, 1-1. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Ospreys. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Hawkeyes. Again, missed opportunities, the story of this ball game. Berry gets jammed, and that one will end up right in the front of the Hawkeye dugout where Jackson gave chase. Makes the count 1-2. Benning pitched the first 4 innings, gave way to Haley Aarons. Aarons only gave up the 1 run in that inning in the 3rd. Kept her team in it. But the Ospreys responded with that 6-pack of runs in the 6th. High chopper to second. Reichert makes the throw low, and Berry beats it out for the base hit. Caravaca readjusts her catcher's gear, brings up Devin Bowman. Bowman over 2 with a walk and a strikeout. This is away for ball 1. Bowman's had a solid first 3 weeks to the season. It's been a fix as the designated player. Ball gets away from Caravaca, and with the game being a sizable margin, don't want to give any free bases if you don't have to. Hawkeyes down by 5. 1 out left, 1 down here in the 7th. Low, 3 balls, no strikes. Timeout as Benny will talk to Riker. Riker kind of get Benny back on get the ship steered back in the right direction. We'll give a Hawkeye scoreboard update while we have a moment. Women's basketball up 95-81. 3:15 left to go in the 4th quarter. Caitlin Clark with 24 points, leading 3 Hawkeyes in double figures. Iowa baseball once again blowing an early lead. They're tied up at 5 with Wichita State in the 7th. Here comes Briley Klosterman. Klosterman reached on a leadoff walk in the 6th. That one goes up high, ball 1. And we'll bring a visit from pitching coach Amber Pfizer. And Iowa will be on the road again, this time to Wichita, Kansas on Wednesday, as they'll have a midweek versus the Shockers. That'll be a 1 p.m. Central Time first pitch from Wichita. You can watch that game on ESPN Plus. And then the Hawkeyes will be off for a week before they head out west to California for an 11-game stretch. That will take them to San Jose, Santa Clara, Stanford for a neutral site game versus Loyola Marymount, UC Davis, St. Mary's, and 4 games in Stockton, California with Pacific and Sacramento State. And we're going to see a pinch runner for Devin Bowman. We'll just see who's going to run here in this situation. It's going to be Avery Jackson to run for Devin Bowman. So the only available options available in terms of bench players, in terms of offense, Haley Down, Tori Bennett, and Hannah Lindsay. Coach hoping she can use Lindsay in a critical situation in this inning. This is low, 2 balls, no strikes. You got Grace Baines on deck. Behind her, you got Sammy Diaz. And then you'll have Riley Moss. Postman gets jammed. As an infield fly, it'll be caught by Chanel, 2 down. So 1 down, so 1 out to go. Here comes Grace Baines. Osprey's trying to go 3-0 this weekend in Jacksonville. Strike 1. Hawkeyes still fighting, down by 5. Benning the 0-1. Hops it up. That will likely end it. Reichert will give way to Chanel. She makes the catch. And that will end the ball game here in Jacksonville. So the big inning once again does in the Hawkeyes. The Ospreys with 6 in the home 6. And they take the victory over Iowa by the score of 6-1. North Florida, 6 runs, 7 hits. No errors. They leave 6. Iowa 1 run on 6 hits, 1 error. They end up leaving 9 on base. That's 20 total runners left for the Hawkeyes in the 2 games today here at the UNF softball complex. Ospreys improved to 9-5 on the season. Hawkeyes fall to 6-5. And then there's a trip to the Sunshine State with a winning record, with a lot of things to look forward to and trying to clean up before that midweek on Wednesday as they take on Wichita State. As Jeff Conrad gets the best of his mentor, Coach Renee Gillespie, and the first time those two have met on the softball diamond. Ospreys will return to a midweek matchup versus UCF in Orlando on Wednesday. The Hawkeyes, we mentioned, they'll be on the road against Wichita State on Wednesday before they'll have a week and change off before they head off to their spring break trip to the left coast of California. So that will do it for our Florida coverage of Hawkeye softball here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Thanks to everybody who made this operation run smoothly for the 2nd straight year. Next time you hear Iowa softball on the radio will be the home opener for the Hawkeyes, which will take place in just over a month time. That'll be on March the 22nd, as we'll start Big Ten play versus the Wisconsin Badgers. Make sure you visit HawkeyeSports.com for ticket information, and also the Anthem Buddies program will be back in 2024. Visit HawkeyeSports.com for details about that as the days and weeks towards the home opener at the Pearl draw ever closer your direction. Victor Anderson signing off one final time here from the Sunshine State. Hope you've enjoyed our broadcast coverage of Hawkeye softball coast to coast and around the world. here in the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hawkeyes end their trip to the Sunshine State with 2 tough losses, 8-2 to Harvard and 6-1 to North Florida. We'll talk to you down the road. Make sure you turn over to baseball as the Hawkeyes are again on a thriller versus Wichita State. They're down 8-5 as they head to the 7th-inning stretch in downtown Jacksonville. Also, women's basketball poised for another triple-digit performance as they lead 98-83 versus Illinois. 38 seconds left in Carver Hawkeye Arena. Rob Brooks, Tiffany Reedy will have the call for you there. John Evans will take you the rest of the way from downtown Jacksonville with baseball versus Wichita State. Victor Anderson saying so long from Duval County. You've been listening to Hawkeye Softball coast to coast and around the world here in the Hawkeye Radio Network.